I think we have to back up. Right now, there's a lot going on, and no agency, neither the DOJ nor the FTC, has announced a specific investigation of a specific company. So we don't know specifically that they're going after Facebook or anyone else. What the DOJ...
They mentioned social media, though. Isn't that sort of the behemoth
sure,
there?
Those are likely candidates to look at for sure. But to be clear, what the DOJ announced last night in a press release, and what struck me was the language they used. They announced that they're conducting a review of online platforms. The DOJ and the FTC are law enforcement agencies, so when they launch a look at a company for its conduct or a merger, those are investigations, not a review. So I thought that was pretty interesting language that they're using. The other thing, it's when the DOJ or the FTC do start an investigation, that's almost always confidential. Very rarely do the agency announce an investigation, and when it does, it's typically only after the target of the investigation has publicly done so first.
So, Alexis, is your implication that a review has less sort of teeth to it than an investigation would?
Yeah, I think it's not clear right now that they're actually investigating a specific company yet or opened an investigation, technically speaking. They could certainly well be investigating facts and market conditions that might be the basis for an investigation. But that's not clear from the FTC's, from the DOJ's press release what they've done. The other thing that's complicated in the U.S., unlike most other jurisdictions, is you have two antitrust authorities in the DOJ and the FTC. And before one of the agencies can start an investigation of a specific company, it has to get what's called clearance. Basically, it has to get the approval, a clearance of the other agency to launch the investigation. And tech is one of those industries where the agencies have fought behind the scenes to tackle some of the big, high-profile investigations. So it's not clear to me that the DOJ has gotten clearance to launch any investigation, or the FTC, which has launched its own tech task force, which presumably wants to look at some of these very same issues. So it's not clear so far which agency is going to be looking at what.
Alexis, just quickly, with the FTC settlement for Facebook, do you think privacy as an issue for Facebook is now put to bed for at least, 5 years?
Well, I can't speak to that. That was a consumer protection enforcement action, and I'm an antitrust lawyer, so I can't say for sure. I will say privacy hasn't traditionally been a theory of harm in an antitrust case. There was a German case recently where their antitrust law does seem to potentially provide some scope for privacy being a competition harm, but we haven't traditionally pursued privacy theories of harm in the U.S. under antitrust law.
Alexis, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
We're using big tech for shorthand because when you're writing an article or you're updating about all the controversy, you just say big tech. But these companies are so different in what they're doing, and they're going to be treated differently by regulators and investigators.
Apple, totally different can of worms.
100%. So it's like if you're a demagogue or if you're Bernie Sanders and you want to make some powerful applause lines in a speech, big tech must be regulated. What does that even mean?
Well,
these companies are not even in the same industry.
Strategy.
So we have to, I think that point that Alexis makes, let's take a step back. There's a lot going on. All of these things will be dealt with on different timelines by different agencies, and the resolutions will be very different.